My name is Dr. Adrian Blake, and for years I was seen as one of the most respected and successful doctors in my city. Patients trusted me. My colleagues admired me. My name carried weight in medical circles. But behind that polished image, behind the white coat, and carefully crafted reputation, I was nothing more than a fraud. Not in the traditional sense. I had all the credentials, degrees from the best universities, experience in prestigious hospitals, a thriving private practice. I was not an imposter in medicine. I knew how to save lives. But the truth was, I had stopped caring about people a long time ago. My career had become about one thing only: money. It started small, overbilling insurance companies, recommending extra tests just to pad hospital bills. But then I learned something even more sinister. Keeping people sick made me richer than healing them. Every unnecessary procedure, every prescription I pushed, every extra day a patient spent in the hospital translated into more dollars in my bank account. I saw it happen daily. Patients who should have been discharged kept longer, treatments prescribed for conditions they didn't even have. And then I crossed a line I never thought I would. I let people die when it was more profitable than saving them. If a terminal patient had enough money left in their estate, I would stretch their suffering just a little longer, just enough to drain their resources. I justified it to myself, told myself that death was inevitable, that it was the system, that I was simply playing by the rules. But deep down, I knew. I was playing God. Then, one night on my way home, everything changed. A set of headlights appeared out of nowhere. The sound of screeching tires filled my ears. The impact was sudden, violent, and then darkness. I expected to wake up in pain, to feel the sharp agony of a broken body. But when I opened my eyes, I felt nothing. No pain, no weight, just an eerie, suffocating silence. The world around me was a dark, endless void. It wasn't just blackness. It felt thick, oppressive, heavy. I tried to move, but every step was like walking through sinking sand, as if something unseen was trying to pull me down. Then I heard the voices. At first, they were distant whispers, but as I moved forward, they grew louder, more desperate, more agonized. And then I saw them. Shadows began forming all around me. At first, they were just vague, ghostly shapes, but as they drew closer, I recognized them. Patients. The people I had let die. A woman with hollow, pain-filled eyes stepped forward. I remembered her. Lung cancer. A simple treatment could have saved her, but I had convinced her to take an expensive experimental drug instead. She had spent her last days in agony, her family bankrupt, while I collected my profits. "You could have saved me," she whispered, her voice not angry, but filled with sorrow. More figures came forward. "You gave me medicine I didn't need. You let me suffer while you counted your money. You turned sickness into a business. You didn't heal, you destroyed." I staggered back, shaking my head. No, I wasn't a killer. I didn't murder anyone. But I had. Not with a knife, not with a gun, with greed. The realization crushed me. I had spent years telling myself that I was just part of the system, that I was only doing what everyone else was doing. But now, standing in the presence of those I had wronged, I saw the truth. Then, a new presence entered the darkness, and everything changed. A brilliant light pierced through the void, blinding in its intensity. The darkness around me recoiled, the figures of my patients disappearing like mist. And then, he stepped forward. Jesus. I had never believed in him. I had dismissed religion as a fairy tale, something for the weak and desperate. But now, standing in his presence, I knew. This was not a dream. This was not my imagination. I was standing before God. I fell to my knees, shaking. Please, have mercy, I whispered, though I wasn't sure I even deserved it. Jesus' voice was calm, but filled with an authority I had never heard before. Adrian, do you understand what you have done? I swallowed hard. Yes, I was greedy. I hurt people. I let them die when I could have saved them. His eyes weren't filled with hatred, but with sorrow. It was the kind of sadness you feel for someone who has lost everything. Why? He asked. Tears burned my eyes. Because I wanted more money, more power, more comfort. I thought I was in control. I thought I was untouchable. You thought you were God, he said, his voice cutting through me like a knife. I had thought that. I had believed I could decide who lived and who died, that I had the right to manipulate life for profit. And now, I was standing in judgment. I lifted my eyes to him, my voice barely a whisper. Is it too late for me? Jesus didn't answer immediately. He just looked past me into the darkness. You must see what happens next, he said. And suddenly, I was falling. The fall felt endless. I tumbled through darkness, through screams, through a coldness beyond anything I had ever known. Then, solid ground. I landed with a force that knocked the breath out of me. I was in a different place now, a place filled with fire, with shadowy figures moving in the distance, their faces twisted in agony. I knew what this was. I was going to hell. Despair filled me. I tried to cry out, to beg for mercy. And then, light. A single sliver, distant but unmistakable. A voice echoed through the darkness. Adrian. Jesus. I turned toward the light, reaching for it. Please, I gasped. Don't leave me here. His voice was steady. You must make a choice. If you go back, you must change. You must live differently. You must tell others the truth. Tears streamed down my face. I will. I swear. Just let me go back. The light grew, and suddenly, I woke up. I gasped for air, the bright lights of the hospital room blinding me. I was alive. The doctors called it a miracle. My heart had stopped for 7 minutes. But I knew the truth. It hadn't been a miracle. It had been a warning. I changed everything. I gave away my wealth. I exposed the corruption in the system. I told my story. Because once you've seen the truth, you can never go back. And I had seen it. Jesus is real. Heaven is real. And so is hell. But we choose where we go. and I had been given one last chance to choose right. One last chance to choose right.